Hey there, card folk. Speedrobo here, and welcome to today's episode of Blitz Brawl. My guest commentator today is Moonfassa. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing well, thanks. Great to be here. I am your new sub in for Dex, as Dex is playing today.
Absolutely. We've got Dex down on red and Patrick up on blue, and just like the name of the episode, we have to blitz commentate this because these players are already off. Patrick on the defender side and Dex on the attacker side. Dex playing an Anwyn build with Tranquility, and what kind of Quicken is that? Quicken 1! Moonfassa, what do you think he's going to be doing with that?
Quicken 1, I'm seeing some Taunting Satyrs, some Glade Hawks. Those are definitely going to be the targets there. Might even be trying to go for a Tranquility on the Satyr, just like I've done in the past. So that could be super exciting to see.
Tranquility Quicken Satyr is nothing to sneeze at, and that's because Tranquility means that the unit targeted by it cannot receive or deal damage. You give that to Taunting Satyr, you move it, you give Taunting Satyr an extra action with Quicken, and Taunting Satyr can now essentially taunt 2 units in a single round, stealing multiple actions from the opponent with a single card. That could be something Patrick has to watch out with his aggressive Heavy Knight Erengard list. Double Heavy Knight, double Elite Swordsman. What are your thoughts on that, Moonfassa?
What's really interesting, there's the double Heavy Knight. Dex also has the double Bull Elk, so we've kind of got similar cards matched up against each other. Typically you don't see that much, so it's going to be really interesting from both sides with the double Heavy Knight. Elite Swordsman's another interesting pick, of course. This guy has not so much mobility in terms of charging, but he does have 3 movement, and he's meant as more of a defensive tool to just plop down with that shield 1. You can get shield 1 every turn, essentially, as long as he gets pinged. But a very expensive list.
You made a good... Well, yeah, but one thing that I do want to share is that you made a really good point where these 2 lists, despite being from different factions, have a lot of similarities with each other. You mentioned the Heavy Knight and Bull Elk, but I'm also looking at it and I'm seeing, double healers from Patrick's side and double healers from Dex's side in the form of Deepwood Mystic and his healer.
That's true. Yeah, we got the double healers. Yeah, this'll be interesting. Quite a balanced matchup, I think. Now one thing that I am a bit worried about from Patrick's side, though, is we see Norfang Champion on Dex's side. This is very good at taking out 1 HP units, and Patrick has no shield bearers on his lineup. So these priests are looking mighty vulnerable right now.
That's a good point. However, I do want to point something out that Patrick did, is he was very careful with his draft. The main points where Norfang Champion can come in and disrupt the priest have actually been blocked off. I'm looking at the 2 hunters that Dex placed, where if I was looking to use Norfang Champion to snipe a priest, that's where I would put them, alongside with a Deepwood Sentinel to maneuver them up and get in there and deal the damage. So I think draft-wise, Patrick's kind of solved the problem for now. But he's going to need to dedicate his Heavy Knights to taking out that Norfang Champion.
Yeah, so there's one space open currently where the Norfang Champion could come down and... sorry, I just did a ping and I realized everyone can see that. The Norfang Champion can come down on, what's that, F2? And the Sentinel can swap him, put him in range of the priest still. So Patrick's got to keep his Heavy Knight open to counter that on the F5
the
space.
F2 and F5 is going to be key, and just like you're saying, down goes that Heavy Knight from Patrick. I think it's strong.
Yep, and yeah, I did say that the champions are going to be really good against the priest. However, can't overlook the Heavy Knight being really good against the champion, because that champion's only got 4 life. And honestly, Heavy Knight's got a lot of range.
Honestly, I don't think we can overlook the Heavy Knight being good against everything here. I really think that's an important thing to point out, where
4 attack is a large number.
yeah, there's not a whole lot Dex has to deal with that armor either. Norfang Sorcerer's break is literally it.
Yeah, he's going to have to be very careful with how he plays the Sorcerer, because I think it's going to be a very key piece to taking out these Heavy Knights.
There's different buffs and debuffs that each player can have, so they're making tokens down on their drafting table that have the buffs and debuffs written, so they can just copy and paste them. That's really clever.
Yeah, I like the idea. And right off the bat, we see Trank
and, yep, here
on
we
the
go,
Satyr.
Tranquility. With Anwyn's extra action, Anwyn's a very special hero that after she uses an ability, you can pay an extra mana to give her an extra action this round.
Yeah, and popping this turn 1 is really important, because now that Heavy Knight's just tapping down. He's doing nothing this turn. Just in fear of that
really
Satyr.
Smart.
And
no,
he takes
super smart, actually.
Oh my god, he got the center shield. Whether that's important or not, I'm not sure, but we have taken the center shield.
Well, it doesn't hurt.
Takes that away from your opponent.
Minute. Actually, it does, because,
right.
The shield factors in before other forms of damage reduction, so the shield factors in before Tranquility, so if the Taunting Satyr gets hit, the shield's gonna go before Tranquility, procs.
That is true, but I'm not sure if the 2 HP really matters. Everything does 2 damage on Patrick's side, except for the Crossbowman, I suppose, but...
Yeah, it's one of those things where maybe it would have been more worthwhile to leave the shield there, but if Dex just doesn't want his opponent to have it, I guess it works out.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about this Elite Swordsman moving into threat range of the Hunter and the Bull Elks?
I actually think it's really good, because the Elite Swordsman has Counter Strike, so even if a Hunter moves in and then a Bull Elk takes, that Bull Elk is getting damage put on it, and that Bull Elk is getting into range of the Elite Longbow Archers for it to get taken down.
Definitely. It's also being guarded still by the Adept Tempest Mage, which can deal some damage.
Ooh, I think this is a mistake. Okay, so the Squire moved up, which blocks the Crossbowman out from taking the Glade Hawk, and the Glade Hawk is able to kill the Priest.
I'm not sure about that.
That might be a misplay.
Now, there's still a safe spot for the Priest, but yeah.
The Priest might just move away, but
it does hurt.
We'll see what Patrick's plan is.
Yeah, blocking, like, you don't want to block your avenues of possible attacks. It's not ideal. You want to keep as many options open as possible so that if things change on the battlefield, then you've got those extra options as backup plans, but we see the Hunter moving in anyways, doesn't matter too much. I'm surprised that the Hunter moves right adjacent to the Squire though, because that's putting the Hunter in danger for next round.
Yeah, that's kind of a free take, but I guess Dex's plan was that he's going to lose the Hunter anyway to the Crossbowman and Elite Longbow Archer?
He wouldn't, though, if he put it on D3. That Crossbowman wouldn't be able to manage. But we're just going to heal him up. Another great point to note is this Erengard list from Patrick has no Tacticians. That's typically a card you're constantly having to play around, but Dex has the luxury of not needing to worry about extra mobility on every single one of his creatures, or range.
Yeah, that's true, but I kind of really like what Patrick's doing here. Patrick, known for being a Gath main, is taking Erengard for a spin, and what he did was he just grabbed Erengard good stuff. And I really, really respect that, honestly. It's just like, this is good, I'm going symmetrical, let's play the game.
Just go for a Gath build in Erengard, I like it. One cool thing
it's good.
Yeah, one cool thing this Norfang Sorcerer can do is break the Elite Swordsman, and then the Bull Elk can safely take it. It is unfortunate that Tristan has moved up here, though, because on the following round, he can use Arrest to disarm whatever unit wants to take that swordsman.
It's so good. Tristan's one of my favorite heroes. I love his suite of abilities, and let's not forget that Tristan's also packing Braveheart, which means he does an extra point of damage to those Bull Elks.
Yeah,
taking
and
his
that's
power from 3 to 4.
pretty huge. And this Taunting Satyr is tapping down these Heavy Knights without even doing a thing. He's just sitting there, and Patrick is willingly tapping out his Heavy Knights.
Honestly, I'm fine with that. The Taunting Satyr rests the Elite Swordsman, that's fine.
I think it's really good because it blocks this Crossbowman, and so Patrick isn't getting any extra positioning now. And this Norfang Champion's free to do whatever he wants. I don't know if he wants to hit into the Swordsman, just because... Well, you can because you have Glade Hawk, but you have to tap down these priests first. So you have the 4 damage on the Swordsman, but these priests are going to cause problems.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing that I'm looking at is Patrick is playing very defensively. He's just staying in formation and letting Sylvan come to him. And honestly, I think that's correct. I really think that's the way he handles this matchup. Like, Sylvan's really good at flanking and punishing you for making bad formations. So the solution to that is, well, I'm just not going to make bad formations then.
Yeah, and without Tacticians, you don't have that extra mobility and range to support an attack. So he kind of has just forced himself into a defensive sort of build anyways.
Yeah. I don't think it's bad. I really don't. Okay, I kind of see what Dex is going for here. He's looking to push the Norfang Champion up to H4, deal damage to Elite Swordsman, and then take it out with the Great Hunter.
I mean, he can just take it out with the Great Hunter now, right? It's got allied pathing. But I think he really wants to...
he doesn't have enough power to take out the Elite Swordsman. That's the problem.
Oh, the Swordsman is what you mean. I see. Yeah.
Oh, I said Longbow Archer, didn't I? My bad.
Okay, we have switched targets, though. And I don't mind that at all.
Oh, Tristan's in trouble, actually.
Yeah, so that Squire step-up prevented the double attacks in with Bull Elk and Great Hunter, if you wanted to preserve Bull Elk's life. So taking out the Squire here allows that line to open up again.
I didn't even see that line. I'm gonna be honest, that's a little spooky. Oh wait, no,
Thinking about taking it back.
Mind. He hasn't hit the clock, so that is a perfectly fine thing to do. In Legacy's Allure, your turn only officially ends when you hit the clock. It is clock move, not touch move.
Yeah, and he might be looking at these double priests again and realizing that if he doesn't tap these priests out first, he's not going to be able to take that Tristan after all. So he's just going to take some moves that are going to happen anyways. Try and force Patrick to tap out his creatures before he moves in for the attacks.
Yup, for sure. Oh man, this is tricky for Patrick. I think he might be losing some units here, but the thing is that if Dex isn't careful with what he takes when, he's going to receive a lot of pain at the start of the next round.
Yep. That is one of the issues with playing more defensively, is you have to be very certain that you can take all of these trades.
Yep.
Or you can afford to take have your units be taken and still be able to swing back hard on the following round. And you lose that ability of good positioning, whereas Dex can set up any sort of positioning he wants. really good with all of these charging units. He can just position this Bull Elk in a spot where he can cause some damage next turn, and Patrick can't really do much about it.
And that hits the nail on the head of one of the things that makes me really love Legacy's Allure. I normally don't like war games, which is a weird thing to say for a guy whose main job is making a war game. But like in a lot of these games, I feel like it's just so slow and it favors defensive play so heavily that it's like almost not fun. Like I want to be doing things, but in Legacy's Allure, honestly, you're more incentivized to generally go aggressive, move into the center, forward that game state. Like we're seeing here, and like you brought up, of like, yeah, if you play defensively, you run a big risk of not being able to take back.
Yeah, and just getting back to the game here for a sec, there are 2 priests left on Patrick's side. We can see very clearly that Dex has his attacking unit still set up. He can take whatever trades he feels like now. As long as he taps out these priests, he can do whatever he wants, and he can easily do that. Well, he's only got 3 units. I suppose he can't easily do that. Patrick taps out 1 priest, then Dex moves in the Bull Elk, maybe takes out Squire, if he chooses. Maybe that's not a great trade, just set it up in a better position, and then he taps out his final priest, and you've got Champion plus Glade Hawk to take out the Elite Swordsman. And then you're threatening that Champion on the priest on the following turn, which is
my gosh,
just an absurd amount of mobility.
That's very scary.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. And now that priest has to move out of the fight because of this Glade Hawk threatening it. I'm glad that Patrick caught on to that at least. But
yeah, I think he saw it and was just waiting for the time to make the move.
Yeah, but this
just in case he needed the priest to heal.
This is what makes defensive builds so difficult, though, in my opinion, is when you're against this many chargers. Like, look how many pins Dex has just been free to set up here.
The entire board from where I'm sitting. Like, holy cow. Let's see. There's Crossbowman, Squire, Priest, Elite Swordsman, the other Squire, the other Priest. Yeah.
So
that's
yeah,
very scary.
There's a lot here. Another great point to note, though, is Patrick's biggest units in this entire matchup are going to be his Heavy Knights, and we can see that the next trades on the following round are not going to be interacting with the Heavy Knights at all. It's probably going to be the Champion sneaking up this round and then trying to threaten Priest next round. This Bull Elk on the left side is threatening backline units. So these Heavy Knights are going to stick around a while, and that's a really important unit that Dex has to be thinking about.
Well, that's just Sylvan gameplay there. Sylvan is the flanker faction. They love darting around and chewing on the back line, kind of ignoring that middle section until its supporters are toast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which makes it a very powerful faction and a very fun faction to play. Sylvan is genuinely a blast.
What do you think of this Bull Elk moving to the right side? I'm a bit confused, but maybe
I literally have no idea why it's doing that. Yeah, and the Counter-Strike's going to take out the Glade Hawk.
Yeah, because we know that the Elite Swordsman was being taken there, so now the Bull Elk's kind of out of position, in my opinion. But maybe Dex has a sneaky plan up his sleeve. Maybe he's trying to protect that Norfang Champion or something.
No. Regardless, it looks like that Priest is toast.
I'm really yeah. Right. Okay, yeah. It didn't matter how we did it, I suppose.
I think it's okay. Well, now Dex is kind of forced to do something with that champion, or the champion's dead.
Yep. He cleared a path for that Heavy Knight, which I think Dex is fine with. That champion has taken so much value already. Taken out an Elite Swordsman. Now he's going to take out a Crossbowman and a Priest. I'm cool with that.
Norfang Champion is one of the best cards in the game, in my opinion, and I actually remember a time when Norfang Champion, in its current state, there was some buzz amongst the other playtesters of actually giving this thing a buff. I was strongly against that. Norfang Champion, I think, is nuts.
Ooh.
Oh no, that's so mean.
I don't particularly like it though, because your plan is to take out this Crossbowman, right? You're gonna open up a path for the Heavy Knight anyways. So I'm not sure that
if
Sentinel...
you use the Bull Elk to take the Crossbowman.
I suppose... But that's leaving your Bull Elk very vulnerable for that Heavy Knight to just take it.
Well, I didn't say it was smart.
It's an option.
It is a play that exists. Or maybe Dex is trying to get the Heavy Knight to tap before doing it?
It's possible. I really like just taking the value immediately because getting a double trade with one unit is so good. If you let this round go on long enough... what?
Oh, that's so mean.
Fair enough. Okay, you can save your champion this way.
Now, the thing is, I completely agree with you. I would have just taken the Crossbowman and the Priest and cashed out my champion of like, okay, I got my value out of him, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if Dex wants to be a bully, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to calculate, like, whether it's worth keeping this champion alive. Like, with these extra damage pings, I suppose it can cause some damage. You do have to invest Tranquility here, potentially, because Patrick has a trade set up with the Longbow Archer plus the Adept Tempest Mage. And now that Heavy Knight is encroaching on your backline, which is very spooky.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If Patrick's just like, alright, I've danced around the Taunting Satyr, we've done this whole game, very funny, let's just go ahead and throw this Heavy Knight in your face, right?
Yeah, and we are seeing the Trank.
And that is the Trank going down on the Norfang Champion. Dex really wants to keep this sucker alive, and I can't blame him. I'm a huge Norfang Champion fan myself.
Yeah, it's decent to take out backline stuff. I'm just curious whether it would have been worth it to just go for the double trade still anyways, because you kind of... Champion's done its job. It's taken out the Priest. The other Priest is on the other side of the board, so it's not going to really be able to get there.
Yeah.
And you could have used it as kind of a lure for the other Heavy Knight. You set up your Bull Elk into trade range to take back the Heavy Knight, so...
It's true. Another thing I do want to point out is that these Squires are doing some work over here. Taking out Hunters and Sentinels.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Patrick set them up in great locations where they just have a huge amount of threat range to take stuff.
Yeah. Squire just really showing why the fan base has such a love for this guy. Like, oh man.
So, great to point out also, this Sentinel was kind of a throwaway card from Dex. He threw away the Sentinel to save his champion, but he also threw away the trade on the Crossbowman. So in order to save this champion, Dex has had to sacrifice a Sentinel, sacrifice a free kill on the Crossbowman, and sacrifice Tranquility for the turn. That's a huge investment just to keep that champion alive.
Yeah, that's like 6 or 7 gold right there. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it at that point. I just take the value and run. You know, like they say in chess, trade while you're up. And that's what I think Dex should have been doing.
I definitely...
Not to rag on the guy too hard. He's playing great.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand the play, wanting to keep your Norfang Champion alive, but you do, like, just like in chess, you can throw away pawn after pawn after pawn, and you might feel like, oh, I'm just trading away pawns and it's helping me get advantage elsewhere on the board, but these small amounts of units and gold that you're wasting and sacrificing, they can add up big time, and it might not be worth it in the end. But who knows?
Yep,
maybe Dex will prove us
discount.
wrong.
Never discount the 2 gold units. They're some of my favorites in the game. But I am looking forward to Dex sort of proving us wrong here and seeing if he can't close out this game. Squire grabbing that Deepwood Sentinel.
Yep. It is great to note that the healers are now down on Dex's side, and on Patrick's side. Dex's healers are gonna stay alive a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, maybe. We'll see what happens with this Heavy Knight.
Yeah, we do have a second Heavy Knight that can come in. I wouldn't mind seeing that Thorn Ellie coming more defensively to protect these healers.
Yeah. I think that's kind of where it should go. I think that Thorn Elemental should swing around to D2 and see if he can't start blocking and smacking back.
Yeah. And, yeah, like I said in the beginning, these Heavy Knights are going unchecked this round, which is going to be a big problem for Dex if he doesn't find answers. But on the other hand, these Bull Elks are also going unchecked.
There's a lot of pieces going unchecked right now, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is really nice. We get to root the Heavy Knight because the healers are both down. There's no debuff removal anymore.
Yes. And Patrick did not bring Shield Bash with him, so Tristan's not able to do any combinable damage, which might wind up biting him in the butt.
Thorn Ellie wants to move defensive.
Think Tristan's gonna be doing a whole lot in this game.
Yeah, the idea with Arrest was nice because of the defensive build. He wants to kind of pull taunt units into him and then get the +1 action Arrest off, but because he's defensive and because Dex has so much charging and mobility, he doesn't need to care. He can dance around his units like he's been doing here. The Bull Elk's just moving as flankers off to the sides, and I think he's completely cool with it. Yeah.
12 gold Bull Elk flanker.
Ooh, this is not... I don't know about this. Moving the Bull Elk in now allows this to get 2 damage on it in threat range of Heavy Knight, and now you have to use your first move to save that Bull Elk.
Yeah. I think taking that Squire was kind of a miss. I don't know about that one.
Okay, fair enough. We can just root again. I forgot. The healer's down. Yeah, fair enough.
We can root again, but then Adept Tempest Mage is just like, alright, take a nap.
Right, yeah, that champion's being tapped down.
And I'm looking at the gold count on each side, and it's looking somewhat even. I mean, it is in Dex's favor, but this is by no means a close match.
No, so Dex's whole idea with his game plan here was to take out Patrick's backline with these flanking Bull Elks and the flanking champion, keeping that champion alive, but there's still a lot of backline alive on Dex's side. I mean, it's Patrick's side, sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and speaking of Dex's backline, it's looking a little shaky right now.
Yeah, honestly, Patrick's game plan seems to be doing what he wanted to do, and Dex's game plan might be falling a bit short, but we'll see. These Bull Elks are, like, if Dex can take out this backline, these Bull Elks are going to be very good at fighting the Heavy Knights.
Ooh,
Moving
I
in,
don't agree with that.
That's going to cause a disarm.
So, well, I mean, not only that, but then Crossbowman and Tristan take the Bull Elk.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can disarm, and then
Yeah.
you can just straight hit in. And now,
Dex doesn't have the actions to fight back on this.
Yep, and that champion, because it's been pinged, now he's got to make a choice. Does he save the champion or the Bull Elk? Because one of those is dying. Patrick's created a nice fork for himself here.
That is really, really strong.
Might not be an obvious fork either, because you need 3 units to take this Bull Elk, Longbow Archer included in that, so this Longbow Archer either needs to go for the champion or for the Bull Elk.
No, he doesn't need 3 units to take the Bull Elk. Tristan has Braveheart. He has 4 damage.
Oh,
just
right.
Crossbowman and Tristan alone is 6.
True. I forgot about the
Champion
Braveheart.
and the Bull
I
Elk
missed.
are Donskis.
Yeah, I forgot about the Braveheart. That's a full clear. Wow. I would really like to save this Bull Elk. Yes, good. And now this champion, after having so much sacrifice to keep this guy alive, is now dying for no additional benefit. That hurts. That hurts a lot.
Well, the other funny thing that Patrick could do right now is he could just kill the Deepwood Mystic, and it's free.
It's a free healer gone. Anwyn's the better healer, of course, but taking down a healer is taking down a healer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bullock's just gonna try and grab center, I guess.
Right, I guess you have to pull it away from the Heavy Knight because you got that 2 damage ping on it. Another yeah, okay.
This is swinging back around. I'm gonna be honest with you, Moon. I thought Patrick was toast at the end of round 1.
Well,
and now I'm just thinking,
yeah.
He's bringing it back.
Wait. He's not taking the bull. Oh, yeah, it's tranked.
It's tranked. And this setup means that Bull Elk in the middle can't really do much.
I honestly think it all came down to the champion play, though. Dex just lost so much by trying to save that champion when it really didn't have much impact on the board anymore.
Squire takes out the last root on that Norfang Sorcerer, meaning that these Heavy Knights are fully gassed up.
Squire OP.
The rest of this game.
Yeah. Not looking good for Dex.
And also,
yeah. Well, we still have 1 Tranquility left.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but
He's got to be very, very careful with how he uses this. Also, Tranquility is not combinable, so you can't really save the Anwyn unless you use 2 mana to trank and then move after.
That's really the only option you've got. Yep, that's another trank.
Tapping down the Anwyn is very, very scary.
Gosh, that's 2 more damage on the Bull Elk. That's yeah. Bull Elk's gonna grab the Squire. Really, all he could do. Heavy Knight says hi.
And now, what do you do as Dex? You almost have to pass just to save your stuff. But
Thorn Elemental tries to do something. Honestly, at this point, here's the thing. If I'm Patrick, I'm skipping.
Yeah, just skip and get a free Bull Elk or Anwyn.
Yeah.
But nope, decides to reposition the Crossbowman. I don't know if that repositioning mattered.
Okay, you know what? Actually, it kind of makes sense, because now he gets to reposition his Heavy Knight so that it's doing stuff.
Yeah, the Heavy Knight reposition does make sense.
Because it was all the way doing nothing over there. Like, I get it. I get it. It kind of makes sense.
That's fair.
Use Bull Elk.
Honestly, just heal a Bull Elk and combinable move, maybe?
I don't know, maybe.
Looks like that's what he's doing, because you drain Anwyn of all her mana, and now she's less of a target.
Yeah, she's not really worth it.
I would probably just keep her there, to be honest, because the Thorn Ellie is protecting her, in a sense.
Thorn Elemental is kind of spooky.
Yeah.
But now Tristan just gets to have free arrest on the other Bull Elk, right?
Yep, it's probably worth it. It forces the Bull Elk to kind of just run away, which, I mean, I don't know, if it's not really accomplishing much on either side. Just gonna shoot it. I think that's fair, too.
Yeah. Honestly, because now the Bull Elk takes the tapped Elite Longbow Archer and dies, or it punches Tristan and it dies, or it runs away and dies later.
Yep.
Seems pretty good, not gonna lie, like, holy cow.
Yeah, that 4 power Tristan's, just these 2 damage pings plus the 4 power on the Heavy Knight, the 4 power on the Tristan, it lines up so nicely into these 6 HP Bull Elks.
The Thorn Elemental's like the only thing that I'm really worried about at this point if I'm Patrick.
Yeah, we got a Thorn Alley late game for Patrick to worry about, and Dex has these 2 Heavy Knights late game to worry about.
I'm fine with losing that Crossbowman. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Like I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
That's fine by me. What I'm thinking is we could have. I do want. Okay, I want one Heavy Knight to take Anwyn because Tranquility is just annoying.
Yeah, you
and
kind of
the
have
other
to.
Heavy Knight, I was gonna say grab center.
Yeah, I mean, you can set up a fork here. Like one Heavy Knight threatens one Bull Elk, the Tristan threatens the other Bull Elk. I guess he wants to protect his backline Elite Longbow. That's fair, because the Bull Elk's threatening it.
Sure, that reads. I mean, this basically is still it's a fork with extra steps.
Yeah. But yeah, this Thornelli might cause problems if it moves center. Oh.
Oh yeah, I'm good with that.
Goes for
that's
the
Bull Elk dead.
Oh
yeah,
dear.
Wow. No, this is actually
this is
completely
fine.
fine.
This is fine. Yeah.
Because now you have 2 fully charged Heavy Knights that just win the game.
Yep. As long as one takes center, then you're fine.
And then that other Bull Elk's dead.
That Heavy Knight dies, does it not? Oh, you get armor resist twice.
Yeah, you get armor twice.
Nope, he's dead.
Oh yeah, because it's 3 damage and then it's 3 damage, which is 6. Yeah, no, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
But now the Thorn Elemental's dead. Because
Yep.
then the Heavy Knight charges, and then the Crossbowman takes center and you win.
So that's
Right,
gonna be a
I think
win
that's
for
game.
Patrick.
Should
Well
be.
done.
Yeah, because Crossbowman just hangs out.
Oh my god, we're on round 7. Look at that. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, no, like this game came right down to round 7. If these 2 Heavy Knights weren't both still on the board, Dex would have won by capturing center.
Yep. Definitely came down to that Heavy Knight late game and Dex having no answers.
Yep, and that's a GG from Dex. Really good game from both players. That was super back and forth, and it highlights just how strategic and careful even the Blitz mode is in this game. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, well played by both players for sure. Really interesting to see a more Gath-like, I suppose, build from Erengard. And the double Bull Elk.
Build. I genuinely think I'm going to try it out myself. And if you at home want to try out either of these builds, come join our Discord server, talk to these players, grab their lists, and we'll see you on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, lists will be down in the description, I assume. And thanks for having me on, Speedrobo. Was
Always
great
a pleasure.
fun.
Bye-bye.
And until next time.